Jeremiah 16, 1 through 21. Devotional focus verse. For mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. Jeremiah 16, 17. After church one Sunday, when I was about 13 years old, I went to a friend's house for dinner. There was a box factory nearby, and in the afternoon we went there and climbed up about 30 feet to the top of a stack of wood that was stored outside. We were watchful and made sure no one saw us, and when we got to the top, we carefully positioned ourselves in the middle of the stack. Sure that we were securely hidden, we spent the next couple of hours smoking. When we got back to my friend's house, his mother asked us where we had been, and we made up an excuse. She said, "I want to show you boys something." She took us up to the stair landing and quietly directed our eyes out the window. Just imagine our shock and dismay when we realized that the top of the woodpile was easily seen from that window. We understood that our activities had been observed, and we knew full well that we were in trouble. In Jeremiah's time, the people of Judah were comfortable in their sins, and they may have hoped that their iniquities were hidden from God. They seemed to have a false assurance that God would never abandon them, no matter what they did. But God had seen and noted their sinful attitudes and all the evil actions they had committed. God's mercy had run out for Judah, and serious punishment was soon to come. Nothing escapes God's attention, and He cannot be deceived. Human nature has not changed since the time of Jeremiah. Many people would still like to think that they can hide their sins from God. It will not work. God already knows about each action, just as He knew about Judah's great sins of idolatry and unbelief, and my friend and me smoking on the woodpile. Someday, unforgiven sin will be punished. The good news is that sin can be forgiven and judgment mitigated. When a person confesses and repents of his sin, God chooses to forget it. How much better than trying to hide it? As God's followers, this is what we want to share with those who have not yet given their lives to Him, for this is a true hope. Background information. This chapter begins Jeremiah's 7th sermon to the people of Judah. Jewish men were expected to marry by the age of 20. God's commandment for Jeremiah not to marry was a symbol to Judah that it was preferable to remain single than to endure the suffering that the parents and children would experience during the Babylonian invasion. God also prohibited Jeremiah from participating in funerals or mourning rituals. Though this was contradictory to the custom of the day, it was symbolic of the people's looming inability to properly mourn or bury their dead during the Babylonian destruction, and of God's unwillingness to provide comfort or peace during their time of need. Furthermore, God forbade Jeremiah from partaking of any feasts such as weddings or other celebrations as a sign that times of merriment would soon cease from the land of Judah. The Hebrew word translated imagination in verse 12 meant stubbornness of heart, inferring that the people of Judah had stubbornly refused to turn from the idolatry of their forefathers and had become increasingly evil in their deeds. Because of their wickedness, God said He would violently remove them from their land and send them to a strange land where idolatry was customary and where they would no longer experience God's favor. Offering a ray of hope, God stated that the time would come when He would not only deliver Judah from Babylonian captivity, but He would deliver all Israelites from the lands where they had been taken captive and restore them to the land He had given to their forefathers. This restoration would be so monumental that it would surpass Israel's exodus from Egypt to Canaan and would become the benchmark by which Israel was known. This prophecy was fulfilled to some degree at the return from exile in Babylon, but more completely in the 20th century when Israel again became a nation. However, in Jeremiah's day, Judah still faced judgment for its iniquity, and God said he would send many invaders to fish and hunt the people of Judah in every possible hiding place. Judah would be required to recompense double for its sins, because the people had polluted the land with their appalling sacrifices, the idols, including human sacrifices. Some commentators believe that the word double alluded to two separate judgments, while others feel it referenced the severity of the judgment. Jeremiah envisioned that through God's dealings with Judah, the Gentile nations would one day come to realize that the idolatry of their fathers was futile and unprofitable. God further declared that his actions concerning Judah would cause the whole world to know that God is Lord of all. Conclusion. No sin is hidden from God, but his mercy is extended to those who will seek him.
Chapter 16. The word of the Lord came also unto me, saying, Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. For thus saith the Lord concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bare them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. For thus saith the Lord, Enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people, saith the Lord, even loving kindness and mercies. Both the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. Neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning, to comfort them for the dead. Neither shall men give them the cup of consolation to drink for their father or for their mother. Thou shalt not also go into the house of feasting, to sit with them to eat and to drink. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, Wherefore hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity? Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our God? Then shalt thou say unto them, Because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law, and ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart, that they may not hearken unto me. Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor. Therefore behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, The Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land, that I gave unto their fathers. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. For mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make gods unto himself? And they are no gods. Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know, I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is the Lord.